Welcome to Chapter 16, Imperial China. Lesson 3, focusing on the Mongols in China. This lesson begins on page 465. China has a long history of defense against northern invaders, symbolized by the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall stretches across a vast region, aimed at protecting China from groups like the Mongols and Tartars. Other empires, like the one built by Alexander the Great, demonstrated the possibility of large-scale conquest across different regions. The Umayyad Caliphate also established a vast empire, spanning from the Arabian Peninsula across North Africa and into Europe. In 1206, the Mongol clans were initially concentrated in the area that is modern-day Mongolia. By 1207, the Mongol Empire, under Temujin, who became Genghis Khan, was beginning to consolidate power in Central Asia. This map reiterates the initial small territorial size of the Mongols in 1206. The Mongol Empire expanded rapidly, eventually becoming the largest contiguous land empire in world history. The Yuan dynasty, under Kublai Khan, controlled a significant portion of China and surrounding regions. In this lesson, we will cover how the Mongols, led by Genghis Khan, conquered China, and how their rule under Kublai Khan impacted trade, government, and culture. We will also explore Marco Polo's travels. Our main question for this lesson is, why were the Mongols able to build a vast empire so quickly? We will construct our answer as we read the first part of the lesson. Our first topic is Mongol expansion. Mongol expansion. By the AD 1200s, Chinese civilization had made many achievements in government, technology, and the arts. However, enemies to the north were preparing to invade China. These people were the Mongols, the dominant nomadic group in Central Asia. They became the first non-Chinese people to rule all of China. Who were the Mongols? The Mongols came from an area north of China called Mongolia. The Mongols lived in movable tents called yurts and raised horses, sheep, and yaks, or long-haired oxen. Mongols were made up of clans, or groups of related families, that were loosely joined together. They followed their herds as the animals grazed the large steppes of Mongolia. The steppes are wide, grassy plains that stretch from the Black Sea to northern China. Early in their history, the Mongols developed skills that were necessary for nomadic living. The Mongols were excellent horseback riders. Their children learned to ride a horse at ages 4 or 5, and then they spent much of their lives on horseback. This map shows the Mongol Empire's extent under Genghis Khan by AD 1227, highlighting his campaigns and the vast territory conquered. Turn to page 466. The Mongols also developed their fighting skills. Riding on their horses toward an enemy, the Mongols could accurately shoot arrows from far distances. As they got closer to their enemy, the Mongols attacked them with swords and spears. The Mongols lived in Mongolia, were nomadic people who traveled in clans, and were skilled horseback riders and warriors.
To Temujin, the strong ruler, we follow you to the ends of the earth. Hail Genghis Khan!
Genghis Khan. In AD 1206, a meeting of Mongol leaders took place in the Gobi. This is a vast desert that covers parts of Mongolia and China. At that meeting, a warrior named Temujin was elected Genghis Khan, which means strong ruler. Genghis Khan set out to unify the Mongol clans. He organized Mongol laws to create a new legal code. He also formed a group of clan chiefs to help him plan military campaigns. From the time of his election until the end of his life, Genghis Khan fought to conquer lands beyond Mongolia. Genghis Khan created an army of more than 100,000 trained warriors. The soldiers were placed in groups called units. The units were then placed under the command of skilled officers. Turn to page 467. The army officers were chosen for their abilities rather than their social position. These changes made the Mongols the most skilled fighting force in the world at that time. Under Genghis Khan, Mongol forces first conquered other people of the steppes. These victories brought tribute money to the Mongol treasury. The victories also attracted new recruits to the army. Soon, the Mongols were powerful enough to attack major civilizations. In AD 1211, thousands of Mongol horsemen invaded China. Within 3 years, they had taken control of all of northern China. They then turned west and invaded the kingdoms that controlled parts of the Silk Road. Genghis Khan and his Mongol warriors became known for their cruel fighting and use of terror. Terror refers to violent acts that are meant to cause fear. Mongol soldiers attacked, looted, and burned cities. Within a short time, Genghis Khan's warriors were known for their use of terror. They attacked, looted, and burned cities, often causing people to surrender without a fight. Empire builders. After Genghis Khan died in AD 1227, his vast territory was split into several areas. Each area was ruled by one of his sons. The great Mongol fighting force was divided up. Despite these divisions of troops, Mongol conquests continued. The ferocious warriors swept into parts of Eastern and Central Europe. They also conquered Persia, located in Southwest Asia. Mongol conquests included the invasion of China in AD 1211, leading to the control of northern China and expansion west toward the Silk Road. Turn to page 468. In AD 1258, the Mongols captured the Muslim city of Baghdad. The Mongols then moved into Syria and Palestine to Egypt. The Muslim leaders of Egypt stopped the Mongols' advance in AD 1260. All of these different areas formed a vast Mongol empire. Mongol rule stretched from the Pacific Ocean in the east to Eastern Europe in the west, and from Siberia in the north to the Himalaya in the south. The Mongols created the largest land empire in history. The Mongols caused a great deal of damage to the lands they conquered, but they also brought stability. This stability encouraged trade and closer contact between Asia and Europe. Many of the great trade routes between Asia and Europe crossed Mongol lands. The Mongols grew wealthy because they taxed the products that were traded along these roads. The Mongols admired the cultures they conquered, and sometimes they adopted their beliefs and customs. For example, the Mongols in Southwest Asia accepted Islam and adopted Arab, Persian, and Turkish ways. The Mongols also learned from the Chinese. As they fought Chinese troops, the Mongols learned about gunpowder and its use as an explosive. They saw the Chinese use the fire lance, a weapon that the Chinese later developed into the gun and cannon. Adopting gunpowder and the fire lance from the Chinese, the Mongols became even more frightening to their opponents. After Genghis Khan's death, his successors expanded the empire. The Mongols' control over trade and their acquisition of new technologies, like Chinese gunpowder, were key to their continued success. The Mongols conquered northern China and the Silk Road regions. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire was divided, but they continued to control trade and adopt new technologies like gunpowder from China. By now, you should have answered the guiding question. Thursday, we will continue with Lesson 3. You should complete the Lesson 3 review homework on page 471. Write the questions and answer each question with complete answer.